You're watching Eastern Iowa's first local news in HD from KWWL. This is Live at 5.
Tonight at 5 o'clock, opening statements reveal key details in a locally high-profile murder case.
Smoking materials may be to blame in an overnight fire that forced a family with an infant from their mobile home.
And happening right now in Florida, the special prosecutor making a major announcement in the Trayvon Martin case.
You're watching KWWL, Iowa's News Channel 7, with Ron Steele, Tara Thomas, and Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg. This is the KWWL News, live at 5.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele.
And I'm Tara Thomas. The trial is now underway for a Waterloo man accused in a fatal beating.
On trial is 20-year-old Paris Anding, charged with second-degree murder in the August 2011 death of 19-year-old Marcellus Andrews.
With our top story here at 5, News Channel 7's Kara Moshik has details about the case from the Waterloo newsroom. Now, Kara, it sounds like a number of fights actually broke out the night Andrews was killed and in the days leading up to it. Tell us what you found out.
That's right, Tara. It's going to be very difficult for this jury to keep all these crazy details straight. At the heart of this story, a sour and at times violent relationship between two people, Tata Smith and her ex-boyfriend, Mike Snow.
The 200 block.
Blackhawk County Attorney Tom Ferguson described the series of fights that led up to the night 19-year-old Marcellus Andrews was fatally beaten. The night before that attack, Tata Simpson and her ex Mike Snow had fought outside Nikita Wright's home on Cottage Street. Marcellus Andrews was at the home that night. After the fight ended, Andrews, Simpson, and Wright went to confront Snow at his cousin Tony Phillips' house. It was a culmination of all those fights that led Phillips and a group of others to go back to Wright's home the next night.
Several fights break out, and within minutes of that, Marcellus Andrews is lying on the ground posturing from a brain injury suffered as a result of a blow to the back of his head.
Nikita Wright and Tata Simpson both testified that they'd seen Paris Anding the night of August 19th, but did not see Anding attack Andrews.
I grabbed him by his arm to help him up, and he was trying to get up. And then that's when Suge, Jeremy Lowe, had came and kicked him right in his face.
Wright later saw Andrews lying face down. She ran into her home and called 911. Defense attorneys admit Paris Anding came to the fight with a baseball bat and hit Andrews, but claim he did so to protect his aunt, Tony Phillips, who had also been involved in the ordeal.
He saw Marcellus Andrews coming towards Tony Phillips with something in his hand. And in that split second, he reacted. He did just what he needed to do to stop that threat.
That testimony did wrap over the day at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Several more witnesses are expected to take the stand. That testimony resuming tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Live in the Waterloo newsroom, Kara Moshik, Iowa's News Channel 7.
Thank you, Kara. Paris Anding's trial is expected to last about a week. No word on Anding taking the stand in his own defense.
Another high-profile case in the area as the man from Butler County, Tom Peterson, murder trial for Peterson underway this afternoon as the attorneys made their opening statements in Butler County District Court in Allison. Peterson
is charged with first-degree murder in the death of his wife, Renee. Officials say he also ran away with the couple's 2-year-old son. The pair were later found in South Dakota.
Now, News Channel 7's John Wilmer will be covering the trial for us. He's live right now in Allison where that trial is being held. John, both the prosecution and the defense, they laying out the groundwork for their cases, both saying that alcohol may have played a key part in this murder. Tell us more.
That's right, Ron. In the opening statements, the prosecution says despite being drunk, they can prove Peterson could and had intent to commit first-degree murder. Now, the defense, however, says Peterson blacked out after the murder and doesn't remember any of it. Now, opening statements began about mid-afternoon, taking a day and a half to select the jury and 2 alternates. Assistant Attorney General Doug Hammerand, excuse me, said that Peterson actually used 3 different knives in the murder, also caused 129 cuts or stab wounds. He used so much force during the murder that it actually bent those kitchen knives. Now, defense attorney Susan Flanders says Peterson has a long history of alcohol abuse and was drinking the day of the murder. And like I had said before, he actually blacked out, doesn't remember anything of the murder itself. Now, Cody George, Renee's son and Thomas's stepson, took the stand this afternoon. He talked about what he saw that day. He is the one who actually discovered his mother that night after the murder. He called 911. They did play the 911 tape as well. We will definitely have more on this coming up tonight in the 6 o'clock news. Live in Allison, John Wilmer, Iowa's News, Channel 7.
Okay, John Wilmer tonight live from the Butler County Courthouse. The Peterson trial, by the way, is expected to last about a week, maybe as many as 7 or 8 days.
Testimony continuing in the trial of Scott Robinson. Today, the alleged victim took the stand and did get emotional while testifying. Dubuque County prosecutors are charging 34-year-old Robinson with first-degree kidnapping and second-degree sexual abuse. This all stems from an incident in October when Robinson allegedly met a woman at a bar in East Dubuque, Illinois, and invited her back to his apartment where prosecutors say he sexually abused her. Robinson's defense attorney argues there is inconsistent evidence. Happening now, the special prosecutor is making an announcement in the controversial case of a Sanford, Florida teenager shot by a neighborhood watch volunteer.
We want to show you a live look at this prosecutor at the press conference right now. She's determining what charges are expected to be filed, whether or not they will press charges against George Zimmerman. Let's listen in for a moment here.
We have the right to know the critical stages of these proceedings. I will entertain some questions, but remember, we have very strict rules of ethics, very strict rules of criminal procedure, and we will be adhering to those rules.
Now, Zimmerman, we've learned, has been charged with second-degree murder, and law enforcement officials say he now is in custody. That, of course, with that death of the young man, Trayvon Martin. So second-degree murder charges against George Zimmerman of that neighborhood watch area down there in Sanford, Florida.
Let's check in now with Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg and your first forecast.
Well, our stretch of cold nights will continue one more time. This is our last one where we need to cover up those plants as temperatures drop down into the 20s. Temperatures last night were in the 20s. We're talking more middle and upper 20s overnight tonight. Last night we were down into the lower and middle 20s. Some places in the teens. How about that? Mason City 18, 17 in Esterville. Here in eastern Iowa, more low to mid 20s, except for far southern part of the viewing area where temperatures bottomed out in the upper 20s. Your current readings are in the low to mid 50s, 53 to 55 pretty much across the entire state of Iowa. As for the freeze warning, one more time across the area. Freeze warning in effect overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning as temperatures drop down into the 20s. Skies are clear and will remain that way with your 7 to 7 planner, and the wind will be light out of the southeast at about 5 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, 20s. After that, temperatures will be warmer, but with that comes some rain. We'll give you all the details from your Storm Track 7-day forecast in just a bit.
Thank you, Mark. An area near the medical labs at the University of Iowa is blocked off this evening, but crews say it's just a precaution. Officials are disposing containers of ether found in a storage room, and crews say the risk of the disposal is minimal.
We now know the probable cause of a mobile home fire which forced a family with an infant from their home overnight in Cedar Rapids. Fire crews were called in around 1 o'clock this morning, 5000 block of Wabash Street. Officials say smoking material on the back deck, the likely cause of that mobile home fire. Now, the couple says smoke alarms luckily awakened them. They were able to escape safely with their 10-month-old daughter and also one of the family's 2 dogs. Fire crews rescued the other dog inside. The family right now, because of the damage, will stay with relatives. And fire damaged this Iowa City home, or I should say an Iowa City home last night. It happened in the 1400 block of Sycamore Street right around 10:15, and the damage here is significant, estimated at more than $75,000 to this home in Iowa City. Now, luckily, everyone got out safely, and so far the investigation in the early stages, not sure exactly why the fire began there in Iowa City last night.
Iowa City police are looking for the person who robbed a delivery driver. 2 employees of China Walk told police they were delivering to a home in the 800 block of Willow Street last night. As one delivery person approached the door, they say a man with a gun stopped him. The gunman ran away with the food and the money. No one was injured. Decision 2012 today marks the unofficial start of the 2012 general election season.
That's right, Tara. With Rick Santorum now out of the race, it's become a battle of Obama versus Romney.
As Steve Handelsman found, today featured a clash of charges, sound bites, and advertising.
Ron and Tara, thanks. Good afternoon. Today could set a pattern that might last till the election in November. The president targeting the rich. The challenger, who is rich, targeting the president. Finally, Mitt Romney can focus 100% on President Obama.
If you're looking for a bigger check from government, he's your guy.
Romney's polls show him weak with women. He argued the president ought to have that problem.
92.3% of all the jobs lost during the Obama years have been lost by women. 92.3%.
Actually, it's 39.7% since the start of the recession in 2007, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Mitt Romney no longer needs to aim ads at Rick Santorum. The president is the target of this new one by the Karl Rove super PAC backing Romney.
No matter how Obama spends it, gas costs too much.
I was a severely conservative Republican governor.
President Obama's campaign went after Romney in a web ad, replaying primary season sound bites they hope will turn off women.
Do I believe Supreme Court should overturn Roe v. Wade? Yes. Planned Parenthood, we're going to get rid of that.
President Obama campaigned again today to get rid of tax cuts for the rich.
It's just plain wrong that middle-class Americans pay a higher share of their income in taxes than some millionaires and billionaires.
He noted a recent Republican president called that not just wrong, but crazy.
That wild-eyed socialist tax-hiking class warrior was Ronald Reagan.
Barack Obama says his Buffett rule, taxing income over $1 million at 30%, could be renamed the Reagan rule. I'm Steve Handelsman for Iowa's News Channel 7.
If the candidates seem in a hurry to get their messages out, they may be.
Just a taste today, because now we have only 209 days left until the presidential election day. Coming up right here on Iowa's News Channel Live at 5, Iowa joins in a lawsuit against Apple and some other e-book makers.
And later in Healthline 7, one type of cigarette may dramatically increase your risk of stroke. Stay with Iowa's News Channel 7 in high definition.
Well, the wind was a lot lighter today than it has been the last couple of days, and nothing but sunshine from horizon to horizon. In store for a clear night tonight and another cold one ahead. Here's your almanac. Record highs. How about that? Back in 1930, we got close to 90 degrees. Iowa City, 93 degrees for a high temperature. Record lows in the teens. Normal high this time of year, right around 60 degrees. We'll give you details and see if we get any closer to that as we head into the weekend. It's all coming up next in high definition.
Now, your Storm Track 7 forecast in HD.
Well, one more night of our stretch of cold nights around here where temperatures drop down into the 20s. So again, you have to cover up those plants to get them through the night. To do so, another cold one expected here tonight. Increasing clouds expected during the afternoon hours tomorrow. So a lot of sunshine throughout the morning. And that's all part of the leading edge of what is a potential shower and thunderstorm kind of day with no severe threat anticipated here at this point on Friday. But it's going to be a bit more unsettled as we head into the upcoming weekend. So again, tonight, freeze warning in effect for the entire viewing area as temperatures drop down into the 20s. Right now, we're sitting in the 50s. 53 currently in Dubuque, 54 in Prairie du Chien. Same thing in Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, as well as Iowa City. So 54 seems to be a lucky number at this hour. Look at the overnight lows. From here to the north and east, 20s and some low 30s. Warmer weather out to our west with more cloud cover. That eventually is coming in our direction, so the overnight lows after tonight will not be as cold in the 7-day forecast. So we won't have to cover those back up. But we are expecting some rain. Rain is a good thing because, boy, things are really dry out there, so we need a little moisture out there. Skies are clear, and really, I mean, not just across Iowa, but across a good chunk of the upper Midwest. Off to our south and west, that's the storm system we're tracking with clouds, low clouds hanging on into parts of Nebraska and Kansas, and then eventually you get into Colorado and you do have some rain showers. But here in eastern Iowa, skies are clear and will remain that way through the evening. Again, tonight we get 2 shots at seeing the International Space Station. One will be at 8:56, and this one's for 6 minutes, quite a while, southwest to the east-northeast. And then just as the newscast comes to an end at 10 o'clock at 10:33 for just 1 minute from the west-southwest to the northwest. By the way, as you head outside and you see the International Space Station, some interesting facts for you. travels at about 450 miles above the Earth at a speed of 4.5 miles per second. It's pretty quick. Buckle up. Let's take a look at the pollen numbers. They're running pretty high today, and we'll do so again for Thursday and Friday. Cold tonight, area of high pressure finally will move away. Here's some clouds out to our west. That eventually will move eastward. We'll see the rain showers increase, at least the chances of that after the sun comes down here tomorrow evening, and then chances of showers and thunderstorms through the upcoming weekend. For tonight, skies will be clear and cold, 20s for the overnight lows. The wind will be light. Tomorrow, sun in the morning. Increasing clouds in the afternoon. The showers again will hold off until after the sun sets. Temperatures will be close to 60 degrees. Your Storm Track 7-day forecast. Best chance of showers and storms right now will be on Friday and Saturday. We'll see maybe a ½ to an inch of rain, a possibility. Maybe some heavier rain in southwest Iowa. And a slight chance on Sunday. And then another storm system here on Monday, ending Tuesday, as temperatures will be in the 50s and 60s. Our hot shot, a beautiful photo as the sun was setting. This was taken at George Wythe by Todd Houston. Thank you very much, Todd, for that beautiful hot shot. So if you see the International Space Station, just a little dot in the sky, but it's moving. It's not a plane. The plane's flashing lights, and the stars and the planets are still. So traveling pretty quick up there. See it every night almost.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark. Iowa and 14 other states are joining the U.S. government. It's in a lawsuit against Apple and other book publishers.
Now, this lawsuit claims that Apple worked with several book publishers to increase the prices on electronic books as a way to limit competition. The other publishers named in the lawsuit include the Holzbrink publishers and the Penguin Publishing Company, among others. Officials say the scheme cost consumers, they believe, millions of dollars.
When companies get together and conspire to enter into agreements that eliminate price competition, it crosses the line.
Now, the lawsuit also says the government has reached a settlement with publishers HarperCollins, Hachette, and Simon & Schuster.
Coming up on Iowa's News Channel here at 5, researchers find effective depression treatment for many battling Parkinson's.
Plus, the flavor of a cigarette might be tied to your risk of having a stroke. We'll talk about that today with Tara in Health News.
Parkinson's disease patients may be able to take antidepressants to relieve their depression symptoms without worsening their disease. In the past, Parkinson's patients who took older antidepressants experienced significant side effects, so many were just not able to be treated for their depression. A recent study looked at the effectiveness of newer antidepressants, specifically paroxetine and venlafaxine. Now, both of these researchers found did help with depression symptoms without worsening motor problems associated with Parkinson's, so that's great news. However, not all patients experienced a complete remission of their depression, so researchers are now working to find other treatments for depression. The number of adults suffering with dementia is expected to triple by 2050. A new report from the World Health Organization finds the number of patients with dementia should reach 115 million. Today, 35 million people cope with the illness. Part of the spike is due to people living longer in lower and middle income countries. The report calls for more national programs designed to address dementia prevention and treatment and increase support for caregivers. People who smoke menthol cigarettes are more than twice as likely to suffer a stroke. That's compared to those who smoke non-menthols. Researchers say the risk of stroke was 3 times higher for women and non-African Americans who smoke menthols. Experts say it's unclear why menthols pose a greater risk of stroke, but do not increase other smoking-related illnesses like cardiopulmonary problems or lung diseases. Health officials say those who smoke cigarettes of all types are more prone to illness and disease.
But first, let's take a look at your winning midday. At least we hopefully we think they're your winning midday lottery numbers from your official lottery station. There they are on KWWL. Tara, you had a great event today as an MC, as the Ladies of Persimmon, the latest group honored here locally. Yeah.
That's right. It's always such a fun event. And today in Waterloo, the YWCA of Blackhawk County handed out the awards at its 6th annual luncheon. There, you recognize Liz Crowley from Cunningham. The more than 100-year-old organization serves thousands of local families through everything from fitness classes to child care programs. There's Marianne Burke. An ambitious rehab of the historic downtown facilities underway to add even more space. And they're always looking to expand and bring more women into the fold. So a great event. We'll see you in 30 minutes.